Everyone, I'm Libby, and this week on Cake Mama, I'm going to be showing you how to make an adorable turkey cake just in time for Thanksgiving. Now, the only thing that I've done so far is I've baked 4 of my 8-inch cake pans, and I've stacked them up with frosting in the middle. And this cake requires a bit of carving, so I'm going to get started right now, and you guys can see just how I'm going to carve the body of the turkey. Okay, so the only thing that you're going to want to know when you're carving your cake for this one is I'm going to put all of my scrap pieces into this bowl because we're going to be using some of them to make the turkey's head. Okay, so the next portion of our cake is going to be the turkey's head. So I have separated out some of our cake scraps here, breaking up any of the chunks, some of those hard chunks. And you're gonna wanna add buttercream to this, just like you would be making a cake pop. Mix it all together. Not being afraid to get a little bit messy. And then we're going to be using our hands to form the shape of the head. You could also do this with Rice Krispie treats. I just want the turkey's head to mostly be in the shape of a ball, maybe a little bit fat. And then we're going to stick a dowel right in the bottom. So I'm going to stick my dowel right down the top of my cake. And then I'm going to stick the head right on top. And it's okay if it pokes out a little bit because we're also going to be giving our turkey a nice hat. All right, now it's time for a crumb coat, and then we're going to put this in the refrigerator to firm up. And into the refrigerator she will go. Okay, so now that I have our color palette that we're going to be using for the turkey cake, we've got a color for each specific reason. So I'm going to start with brown, which we're going to be using for the feathers on the turkey, and also we're going to be covering the whole cake in brown a little bit later. I also have my leaf cut out here, which I'm going to be using for feathers. So I'm just going to cut out a whole bunch of these. And we're going to roll this out again and make the back feathers. Those are going to be a different shape. So you should have something along the lines of these 4 shapes that we're going to use for the back feather. So they're gonna stand right up. We're gonna decorate them. But for now, we're gonna let them set aside to dry. So to make our pilgrim hat for our turkey, I'm starting by just kneading some black fondant in my hands, using a lot of pressure to sort of get those creases out. You don't want any creases in your fondant, so you have to kind of just work with it, try to push them out. Then I'm going to roll it kind of like I'm doing a cone, but I'm going to flatten out the top and the bottom. And I'm going to roll out the remaining portion of our black fondant so we can make the circle for the bottom. And now all our hat needs is a little belt buckle on the front. Just need a little bit of white. Slowly taking out the middle, and then you can go in and clean up the edges. And this is going to just stick right onto the front. And now we have our little pilgrim hat, so I'm also going to set this aside to dry. And now we're going to make a cute little red bow to go right on the front of our turkey. Fun fact about Cake Mama, the bow was the first thing that I learned how to make out of fondant. What's the first thing that you guys learned how to make? So I folded my rectangle in half, and then I'm going to push it down in the middle and pinch the two end pieces together. So you should have your half bow, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I leave this rounded piece on the bottom so you don't end up seeing it. So again, I folded it in half. I'm gonna push down in the middle and fold in my two edges. And then you can match them up. And we're gonna make our little strands that come off the bottom and the middle piece to hold it together. I'm just gonna cut 3 strands. I'm actually going to cut 2 strands because I can cut this one in half. All right. So for our middle piece, okay, so I've pulled our cake from the refrigerator. She's nice and firm. She's ready to be covered in fondant. And I've also pre-rolled out our brown fondant and she is ready to go. Poke that hole right where that stick's coming through. And that's where we're going to set our pilgrim hat. So don't worry too much about that. I'm going to start by smoothing out right around the head. So we don't want it to tear anywhere. Now for the body. Now we just trim off the excess and it's time to decorate. Okay, you guys, so we're ready to add all of our accessories to turn our cake into a turkey. I know he doesn't look like a turkey yet, but I promise you it's going to look like a turkey when we're done. I'm going to start by putting the feet on first so we can mark where the front of our cake is. Just putting a little bit of water onto the back to act as our glue. Now I'm going to take our hat, put a little water right around where that stick is poking out, and I'm just going to pop this right on top. Just like that. And now we can do our feathers. So I'm going to start by putting feathers around the base of our turkey's neck. I'm not going to start in the front because that's where we're going to put our bow. So I'm going to start off to the side here, and I'm just going to overlap them slightly. Okay, so I have my bow here, and I'm going to be using a couple toothpicks to hold it in place because it's a little bit heavy. Just going to stick them right in front here. I'm still going to add some water for extra support. And then we're just gonna glue down our little ribbons right underneath. What do you think so far? I think he needs a face. So let's make some eyes. I'm gonna try to make them roughly the same size, but honestly I think it would be so cute if they're slightly off, kind of like he has googly eyes. So don't worry about it being perfect. Now just using a little bit of black for the pupil. I don't know if you can see that, but it's so cute. His eyes are kind of going in different directions. So now I'm going to take some yellow and we're going to make a beak. And the beak, I'm going to act like I'm going to roll out a snake, but instead of rolling it out long, I'm just going to roll the ends into points. A little bit of red accent on his beak. Okay, so we're going to do the wings, and I'm going to be using the same feathers, but I want them to sort of come over towards the front. So I'm going to start my first layer kind of tucked up right underneath this one. And then underneath this row where we have 4, I'm going to do 3 and then 2 and then 1. All right, so we've got one side done. I'm gonna work on this side and then I'll spin it around to show you. So we've got our wings. The last step on our turkey is going to be adding our back feathers here that we've made, and I'm going to put them onto dowels so that we can stick them right into the back. And I'm going to use some extra brown feathers that I have here and secure the dowels onto the back using some water. Okay, so we're ready to put the back feathers onto our turkey. So I'm just going to be sticking them in, hiding your stick as much as possible. And there's our turkey. All right, well, this is what I'm thankful for over here. This is my crew. I just can't wait for Thanksgiving, and I'm so thankful for all of you subscribers out there. And I can't wait to show you what we're gonna come up with next week. So what are you guys thankful for?
Cake Mama! Cake Mama!
See you later.
Bye.